Hello everyone, I am back this time with another little training video. I'm still trying to dial in the cross step. I think I've made some progress. I am at White Oak Community Center in Inwood, the north course. This is a large golf course that was put to pasture and made into a disc golf course. Actually 3 different disc golf courses, north, west, and east. East had all of its baskets removed years ago, like 3, 4, 5 years ago. 4 years ago maybe, and since then there's just been the north and west courses, but they've been very poorly maintained due to a dispute between the community and the local government region, whatever. Anyways, I won't get into that here. You can look it up on the disc golf course review, which I'll put a link in the video. I'm not here to play this course today. I am here just to practice the cross step. That's the only reason I'm here, and so that's what I'm going to do. I've perched my camera next to hole 1, but I'm using this field behind me to practice my throws. I'm going to be aiming at this tree behind me, about 250, 300 feet. No way I can reach it, but that's kind of what I'm aiming for. I'll be doing my run up here for backhand, and if I do sidearm, I'll be doing my run up on this side, so I don't have to deal with the camera that much, and you can kind of see what I'm doing. But that's basically all I want to say. Let me get to throwing. Alrighty, what I will be doing with my backhand throws, I'll be using inexpensive DX plastic for basically everything that I'm throwing. I'm going to throw four discs, 1 mid-range. It's kind of a short diameter mid-range called a Skeeter. I'll list what I'm using here. A Leopard, a Gazelle, and a TeeBird is my throwing disc. I've also got a Dragon, which I may or may not use. But I'm going to basically throw in that order every single time. And I want to show you what I've learned. Sean had a great tip after our last game where he basically said slow it down to a walk and then try. So I'm going to do that here. Here's a Skeeter, mid-range. My Leopard. I'm almost pin high to that tree. So I'm thinking the tree is maybe about 260, 270. Gazelle. I did not throw that at all. I'm trying to work on my cross step, but I'm not focusing as much as I should on my throw, which I need to get all this together. Yeah, I'm just too much hyzer. Alright, that's 4 discs. That's too complicated for me to throw anymore. Will recall where those are at. I'm going to go track them down. Okay, I want to re-emphasize, my focus here is not necessarily throwing. It's primarily just the cross step with an attempt to sort of throw. What I consider purpose-driven throwing is driving it through, as opposed to this sort of catapult effect I tend to do where the disc doesn't really go through the pocket, where it sort of barely touches it and it launches out with high torque and low spin, causing it to turn more than it normally would, even with the anhyzer that I use. My essential movement is 45-degree angle, 90-degree angle, 135-degree angle, and then pull through. And I want to try to put things together, but I'm mostly interested in just getting the leg movement down. Left, right, left. And unfortunately, I'm going to not have the angle right. If I can just get the release point right, I'll work on angle later. Leopard. All my throws are turning into rollers because I'm throwing them like rollers, unfortunately. So maybe less that. Nope, still doing the catapult motion. Purpose-driven, drive-through neck. I tried to do that and I ended up just pointing it downwards. Not good. So one of the things I want to point out is I've been throwing backhand less like a backhand is supposed to be, where you're essentially, you know, driving it through. And I've been doing essentially more of that, and I recognize that. So that catapulting motion is more like a sidearm or a backhand, where your arm is doing this. It's not being pulled through like the backhand is doing. And because I'm throwing more like a catapulting motion, that's why my backhand resembles more of a forehand motion. Higher torque, less spin. So I'm trying to fix this. But I don't want to do the wide rail stuff. I need to just dial it in to where I'm throwing like this, and I'm pulling through the power pocket. I literally just threw that at an angle with such an anhyzer that it turned into a roller. It's not good. I mean, I know I'm not focusing on doing that per se, but the fact that I'm doing it unwillingly is not good. I'm going to have to review this footage. I don't think I'm pulling through. I think I'm still catapulting. Yeah, I'm definitely catapulting. That's right next to 18's basket. I need to do a standstill to see if I can get this going. Okay. Too much hyzer. Now I've got to go retrieve some discs. So the good news is I parked basket at hole 18 twice. The bad news is hole 18's basket is about 100 feet away from where I'm aiming, which is that tree. Okay, so I'm getting a cross step down. I'm not getting my upper body synchronized with it well. Well, that's cool. I've got an easy upshot to the basket at hole 1. That is a bit closer to what I want, but again, got to get things in sync. My attempt to tilt the angle meant that I threw it down. Damn it. All right, here we go. Super high. You need to throw it straight. Straight, straight, straight. Alright, so I'm going to just try the one-step drill and see if that helps. Kind of worried. Nope, still not going within. I'm not convinced I did that right. Not parallel, one step forward. Four. Now the other people are playing the course, since it's been mowed. We'll have to see what that looks like on camera. Did I say that correctly on accident? So I have a cross step down akin to Tristan Tanner in that it's a slow, deliberate walk up, but I'm completely falling apart on the upper body as far as synchronizing what I'm going to throw and even throwing correctly. So I'm going to try to work on that a tiny bit as I try to fine tune this cross step. That was a straight up grip lock. That was just a roller, an unintentional roller. Can't say it was a grip lock per se, because it didn't feel the same way as the first one did. That actually felt perfect. So whatever I did there, I've got to do that repeatedly, because that actually felt perfect. That was an early release because I was throwing like a catapult that just came out early. Not good throwing style. I can feel it when I throw that it's not good. Kind of felt good, but it was of course low. Can't have a good throw, feel good, and everything work. It's just on. Good throw. I think some of the mechanics of that were fine, but clearly others were not. I wish I started practicing this when I was 17, not 47. All I'm doing is throwers. So I guess I'm doing roller practice. Kind of wish I could practice regular throws. I still think I'm doing the catapult motion. I'm just going to try a standstill. That's a little better. It's closer to my power pocket, but not in it the way I want it to be. So right now you're seeing the best cross step that I've ever done with the worst throwing that I can put on camera. The worst throwing is consistent, the cross step improvement is better. But that last throw that I just did with my TeeBird with just standstill and a resemblance of good form, that's why I've been playing standstill as opposed to cross step, because this is the best I've ever been with a cross step. I slowed that down as much as I could to where it basically became a standstill. So maybe that's how I have to think of this. I'm still chunking them that way, every single one. I deliberately put hyzer on. And I released it on time. So I'm not complaining, that's actually good. Keep in mind, each of these 4 discs is significantly more stable than the last, starting with the Skeeter, which is a short diameter mid-range that's neutral, that is less stable than my Leopard, that's less stable than my Gazelle, that's less stable than my TeeBird. So if I had thrown the Skeeter the way I threw that last disc, that would have also carried that way. But this is the first time in this session I feel like I've dialed 2 or maybe even 3 throws in a row, dialed it in. So keep working on it while there's a little bit of sunlight left. Alright, I lowered this just a tiny bit. Hopefully you can see my feet a little bit better. So basically I have to come to a practical standstill in my cross step to throw with any sort of accuracy. So if that's a compromise I need to do to A, train this cross step, and B, throw decently, I think I should make that for now. And then as I get better at doing that, try to implement less of a stop and throw and more of the smooth transition to throwing. The throw has to be a part of it. And I realize that I need to throw it essentially like this, not like that. I don't need a wide rail or whatever that is, rounding. I need to get it somewhat like this, somewhat angled, and do it like something along the lines of that, and then let it come out. I know that. I know what I need to do, and then there's me doing it. I'm going to step forward a tiny bit so maybe it's easier to see my feet. Throw it to the ground, unfortunately. Let's try this again with a little bit aim upwards. I threw too far back, so that was a late release because I didn't drive it through the power pocket. That felt good. That's close to about 230, which is what I'd like to get on a consistent basis. Too low and a little bit too late. But I liked what I was doing there. And I also need to do some forehand training because I've only got 100 feet in my yard, my side yard, so I need to be able to practice that. But I use that mostly for finesse shots and up shots and approaches, particularly it needs to go that way, and some very short range drives just to get into position. But I need to work on cross step more than I need to work on forehand, so that's the focus for today. That felt great. I just need to do that from here on out. Did the thing right. Did that. Not exactly a grip lock, but not good. Because I didn't go through the power pocket, I did sort of a round. That's exactly what I wanted, but I didn't have the right angle. So I need to think more like that. Move my torso. That's pin height of that tree, maybe 250. Alright, so 2 bits of good news. The first 3 throws were all completely straight in line, even though they were too low because I released them too low. They didn't have a chance to get a full flight. And the 4th one, even though I released it a little late, it being overstable, plus me putting it at the right height, meant that it curved around and did actually go tree high. So we're going to do one more set of throws, I'm going to close this out. The release was a slight early, but I had anhyzer, which is why it turned that way. My attempt was to do straight and release at the right time, but I'll take it. That's a range of human error I can live with. Too low, but I love the angle. See if I can do that. There we go. That was deliberately too high to compensate, but it ended up where I wanted. My most overstable disc. That release and everything would have been great if that was my Leopard or the Skeeter, but because it was the TeeBird, there was no way it was going to anhyzer out or turn whatsoever. But I'm still happy with that. Alright, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not sure if this measurement is correct, but if U-disc is correct, and I measured it from where I threw to the tree itself, it's over 300 feet. Now, it does look like it's 250 or so to me, but according to U-disc, it's 300. I don't know if that's true or not. If that's true, that's the farthest I've ever thrown a disc. That would be today. The most I've ever thrown a disc ever was 265 feet, and that was a Valkyrie. In this case, I threw a DX TeeBird. According to this, 300 plus feet, which we'll see here. And I'm just kind of floored by that. I don't know if that's real or not, because it didn't feel real to me. But I also took a look at hole one's measurement in U-disc from hole one's teepad to the basket, which is about 20 feet further in that direction than the teepad is from where I was throwing, and that's like 300, nearly 20. So I don't know if I threw 300 feet or not. I was pin high to the tree, I think twice, and several times I was maybe 20, 30 feet shy of that distance from where I was at. Not that they are next to the tree per se. So that's good if that is indeed the case. So the cross step, if I can dial it in, looks like that'll allow me to throw maybe over 300 feet. It's hard for me to tell because I almost never see what 300 feet looks like when I'm, from one of my throws. So I don't know I don't know what's going on. As you can probably tell, I'm a little bit flustered. Anyways, I can't really complain other than I really wish I could dial things in, but I think you could tell just within the course of this one video that the way I was throwing initially and slowing it down even further, coming to near complete stop, allowed me to maybe put myself in a position to maybe get some momentum going to throw better. So if I can dial stuff in, things are looking promising. Anyways, thank you very much for watching and have a great day.